Shalom, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai. Let's give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, to the Lords, the Apostles, Elders, and Bishops, Great Millstone, that taught us His word. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect across the planet Earth. I just want to talk about how, a remnant shall return or will return. The remnant being, the Lord's elect, 144,000 and the 1/3, how they're going to return to who they are, to their name, but only, a small remnant on this side is going to get the truth. Mainly because we lost, our heritage, we lost our land due to these curses, but that's only temporary, even though it seems like it's been forever. It's only temporary, and we know we're close, just going by, the prophecies. And that's the only way we'll know that we're close. That's why you have to keep a watch, an eye out for these prophecies on what's going on. So the day the Lord doesn't, come upon you as a thief in the night, which it will on 2/3 of our people. But the Lord's not dealing with 2/3, only the elect on this side, the ones that know His name and pray in that name, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. But yeah, so these curses were brought upon us, and that's why we're in this very low state that we're in today. That's why we're at the bottom of the barrel. That's why we're a laughing stock, gazing stock on these other nations. That's why we get no respect on this side. But that's all punishment, from Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But eventually, like I said, that's on the time limit, man. The first scriptures are Deuteronomy 28:43. A stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Yeah, all these nations, Esau, Edom, all these other nations, man, they're very high above us on this side, man. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Yeah, we're at the bottom. We have no might in our hands, man. We have no power on the side. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. We're pretty much destroyed. If it wasn't for the remnant, the Lord's elect waking up, we'd be completely, utterly destroyed out here as a people. Because thou hast hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep His commandments and His statutes which He commanded thee. Yeah, so that's why, we're in this very low state, in this low condition, man. It's Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I'll cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger that shall burn forever. That anger is almost up, man. But yeah, we shall discontinue from thine heritage. Yeah, cut off from our heritage, being Israelites. But only the elect is coming back to that. The Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacles. The Pesach, keeping those high holy days. Coming back to our heritage, our language, to the best of our abilities. Only the elect is going to come back, but 2/3 of our people have completely discontinued from it, man. They're really now, black, colored, African American. Now they're foundational black Americans. Now they're trying to embrace being an American. So our people are totally lost and gone. He says that, and even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. I'll cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Yeah, in this land now we're serving our enemies. Because because we're at the tail. They lend to us, we can't lend to them. You know, we have to be in debt to these other nations, man. We can't lend to them. You know, so that's how we're serving our enemies. And this time before was through chains and shackles and yoke of iron, and yokes of iron around our necks, picking cotton. Now, you know, we have to, we're in this spiritual, this mental captivity, but we still have to serve our enemies, man. We still have to go and work, you know, for these different nations and build up their wealth, you know, build up their neighborhoods, build up their businesses and make them wealthy, you know. But yeah, it says, give kindle a fire in mine anger, it shall burn forever. So it was burning for a very long time, but that time is almost up, man. According to prophecy, man, this is Isaiah 10:21. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. You know, yeah, even a remnant shall return, that small number. The Lord said He reserved 7,000 men, you know, that weren't going to, you know, bow down to Baal, and the ones that He had on reserve, you know, until that time where they would hear, you know, the word, and they would be activated. That voice in the back of their mind say, "This is the way, walk ye in it." Only the remnant is going to walk ye in it once he hears the truth. 2/3 of our people are going to disregard it, you know, because it wasn't meant for them. The Lord isn't going to save all Israel this time around. For thy people, Israel, be as the sand of the sea. An innumerable number, man, of people are the sand of the sea. Yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. Yeah, but only a remnant. So only a few shall be saved, you know. Like a drop to a wave. Most of our people are going to die, man, out here. Only a small number. And that small number is going to bring back all Israel, you know. That's how all Israel's going to be saved, you know, in the kingdom through the reincarnation. On the side around that second death, 2/3 of our people are going to have to experience that second death, man. But even though our people be as the sand of the sea, only a small number, man, only that elect, only a remnant shall return to Yahushua, man, and think upon his name. Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. Yeah, eventually, who's going to remember themselves? You know, that the remnant. They're the ones that are going to remember themselves. And shall know that I'm the Lord their power. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear. The Lord's going to open up their minds, man, and your ears to accept and understand this word. You know, He helps Shai broke the seals. And again, it'll give you the understanding if you're part of the elect. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. That praise the Lord and think upon the name. That name's important, man. A lot of guys out here are pushing falsehoods and the wrong name. A lot of them, you know, know the true name, but yet they're pushing the fake name, false name, you know, for money, filthy lucre's sake, man. So they're the holdup, man. The ones that do that, and they're not gonna make it, man. But it says, in the land, they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, right here in America. calls you this in a land which I know it's not. This is the land right here in America, on this side. In this time, it's the land of our captivities here in America. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name, man. So we're still in captivity and we're praising Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Every week, go out there, street corners, praising the Lord. Little epistles, weekly epistles, and praising the Lord. Our daily lives, our daily activities, praising the Lord, thinking about the name, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Thinking and praying in those names constantly. Only the elect is doing that. And return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. So yeah, we're stiff. Once we're stiff-necked and we did wickedly, but ever since the Lord woke us up, we're trying to keep the commandments to the best of our abilities. Even though the scriptures say righteousness is that of filthy rags. We're rehearsing the righteous acts on this side, man. But only the elect is going to, put in the effort, or the remnant is going to put in the effort to rehearse the righteous acts. Dude, those our people don't even care. Or return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Yeah, that's when the blessings are going to kick in, man. We experience those curses. Now it's time for us to experience those blessings. Lord will, man. It says, in the land which I promised them with an oath to their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the Lord is a man that shall not lie. So this is going to happen. There's going to be a day the Lord is going to give his men, his remnant, back to their land, return to captivity. And they shall be lords of it. And they'll be sovereign. It'll be a sovereign nation again, man. We're not going to have to go to the enemy for the want of all things. Have to deal with a stranger that is very high above us. We're very low. And we have to lend, and we have to lend to us, man. He shall lend to thee, but thou shalt not lend to him. We got to go into debt with these devils, these heathens, man. He shall be the head, and thou shalt. That day is coming to an end, man. He says, I will bring them again into the land which they're fighting for now, and all that. But the Lord has to destroy that land, man, because the heathens are in there. But Israel's going to be built back up again, which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the Lord promised it, man. So it's going to happen. And they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. We're not going to be diminished anymore. We're going to be increased. We're going to get those blessings forevermore, man. Those pleasures forevermore in righteousness, man. And I'll make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power. And they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I gave them. So we're never going to go into captivity, ever again, man. Why? He's going to establish a new covenant to where we're never going to go off, to where we keep the laws, statutes, and commandments to the utmost, man. So that's the reason why we're in this predicament, in this situation. Well, one of the reasons, It said, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes. That new covenant, man, he's going to put it in our inward parts to where we keep it perfectly, so we're not going to go into slavery ever again, man. Hell, we became a nation in slavery. That's all we know is slavery. So it's going to be a beautiful day, man, when the Lord, brings his men back to the land which he promised with an oath. It'll be a beautiful day. Jeremiah 30:3, for lo, the days come, Saith the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel. That means he's going to take us out of captivity. My people Israel and Judah, northern kingdom and southern kingdom, saith the Lord. And I'll cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. Flip that to the AMP. Because you got these heathens in our land right now that really believe that that's their land, fighting for land that don't belong to either side of them, man. So, for behold, hear this. The days are coming, saith the Lord, that I will restore the fortunes of my people Israel and Judah, says the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and I will return them to the land that I gave to their forefathers, and they will take possession of it now. Take possession of it, you know, because they ain't gonna just, give it to us, man. Should say the saints will take the kingdom, man. We're gonna take that kingdom, man. The Lord's gonna give us that power. Right now, we have no power. The Lord's gonna give His men that power, and they're gonna take it. This is the NLT version of it. For the time is coming when I will restore the fortunes of my people, Israel and Judah. I will bring them home to this land that I gave their ancestors. He says, I will bring them home. America's not our home, man. We're not foundational to America. Our ancestors are from here, man. Our ancestors are from Israel, man. It says, and I will bring them home to this land that I gave to their ancestors, or forefathers, man. Jake want to talk about the ancestors and all that here in America. Our ancestors, our forefathers are not foundational to America, man. It's brought here for slavery. And they will possess it again. The Lord has spoken it. And as the Lord spoke it, so it's going to come to pass. You have to believe that. But yeah, the Lord's going to bring His men back to the land, man. So you got these Palestinians, you got these Amalek, fighting over the land that doesn't belong to either one of them. But, the Lord's going to make everything right again. He's going to take these curses off us and give us these blessings. We just have to wait it through. With that, shalom.